If you are just starting out and you want to learn the basics of storytelling, of content creation, short form content is like the perfect one. I think you should be willing to adapt and find your strengths, find the areas in your videos that are working and kind of embrace that. Don't have too high expectations. With less expectations, that allows you to have creativity and flexibility and just try different things, right?
How are you using AI and what are some tips for creators that want to go faster with AI? So what does it take to make a sustainable living as a content creator? What are the keys of going viral right now? And how can you tap into AI to create content faster and to be more creative in your workflow? I'm super excited because today on the podcast, we have Jensen Tung, who's got almost 400,000 subscribers on YouTube, almost 1 million on TikTok. My man, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, Sean. Super excited to talk to you.
Dude, you're here from Canada, first VidCon.
Yes.
You're speaking. There's a big poster of you with for your session. How's it feel?
It's super exciting. It feels crazy because only a couple of years ago, I was dreaming about all of this and just like now seeing it in real life. It's just a whole another experience.
Yeah, I'm excited to get into tactics about a bunch of different stuff, but tell us a little bit about your story. I looked up your YouTube channel and saw that the first video on your main channel was uploaded 9 years ago. So today you're working with brands, everything's happening, but like, what's been the journey for you as a content creator?
Yeah, for sure. I think, I grew up with YouTube. So growing up, loved it, watched it, and made videos for it. And yeah, going back, I mean, if you want to go further back, I got some secret channels with like videos that you don't want to watch. but my first video on my current channel is 9 years ago. I started with short films, actually. I love making skits and like narrative stories and everything like that. And then over the years, I kind of dived into a whole bunch of other topics like vlogging, travel, like working out videos. I don't know. And then I think in the past few years, the niche and topic that I've really, I guess, hit a home run on has been business, personal finance, entrepreneurship. And that's the niche that I'm working on now. And I'm really fortunate to be kind of creating videos in this field and sharing the things that I love about it. Yeah.
Do you know how many YouTube channels you've actually started?
So you have like, my secret channel. Then you have my current channel, Jensen Tung. And then some other channels I've made have been we have the Facts from Frankie channel, which is one for the specific AI challenge that I had. I don't post on it anymore, but that one, I guess you include that.
I love it. And you also have multiple businesses. What kind of businesses do you have?
Yeah, so I dabble into, of course, entrepreneurship, and I'm always thinking of new business ideas. The other main one that I work on is called Storage Hotel. So it is a on-demand storage company. So I guess the best way to summarize it is, university students, every summer, international students especially, they leave, right, to go home. But they have all these items. So they need to store for the summer. So what we do is we go directly to their dorms. We pick everything up. We go move it to our facility and store it. And then when they come back in the September, then we deliver it all to them. So super easy storage.
And so that's a local business?
Yeah, it's local and it's, I guess, seasonal. And I run it with my brother, Edward. And it's super exciting. It's like dabbles in real estate and storage and everything like that. So it's fun. It's fun.
And so how do you feel about focus right now in terms of how you make a living as a creator? Is that essential or is that part of creativity and entrepreneurship and diversifying? Like what's your philosophy with the different ways you're making money as a creator?
Yeah, like with Storage Hotel, I started it before I started making a living with content creation. So I've just been continuing with it. I'm super lucky because it's a seasonal business, so it's still manageable, right? I think around 2021 was when I actually started to make a living out of content creation. So I think in terms of focus, that's something I think about all the time. It's something that's super hard, especially as someone like me that's always so excited to start businesses, right? I guess that's why I make videos on entrepreneurship. I'm always like so excited to venture into all these different ideas. But in terms of balance, that's something that's difficult. But for me, I do know that I do have a really big love in creativity, in video production and all of that. And so I'm trying my best to kind of make sure that whatever I focus on, YouTube is like number one.
I love that. And you're speaking here at VidCon. Your session is how to use AI in the new era of video creativity. One of your most viewed shorts, I believe, was I used AI to rap like Kanye West. 3 million views. Such a cool video. And you also, not only do you do the voice, but you have like a face.
Oh yeah. Well, so I made like a YouTube short version.
Yeah.
And I also made a full length version. But that full length version, that in the beginning, I used deep fakes to implement the Kanye face on me. It's
Yeah,
really funny.
super cool. And so how are you using AI, and what are some tips for creators that want to go faster with AI?
Yeah, I think right now, the ways I'm using AI, outside of just my AI specific videos, I definitely find myself using ChatGPT a lot to generate like completely new scripts. Not necessarily, I still write my scripts, but it's more about like, maybe I'm missing something, like a little, like a pointer, like maybe like a paragraph, and I just need something quick. Then I use ChatGPT to produce something, and then I build off of that. So I think ChatGPT is a really great starting point in terms of creating ideas or scripts. I wouldn't rely on it 100%, but that's all you need, and that's definitely better than starting from scratch. Some other things I've actually found, like AI art generators. Sometimes I need that like stock footage. Like in one of my videos, like I need a picture of Kanye eating a cheeseburger. Like you can't get that online, so I generated that through AI. And I included that in the video, and it's perfect. And there's just all these other features. Like I'm really excited about, AI tools that are getting into video editing, right? So, Autopod is something that I don't have a podcast. I'd love to have one, but I feel like, I don't know if you guys are using it, but I think it's so cool. It's just like seeing it all cut up. It's crazy.
Yeah, we are. And so that's a Premiere Pro plugin. Mm-hmm. Do you use Premiere Pro?
Yes, I use Premiere and Adobe for everything.
You use Adobe whole creative suite.
Yeah.
And you edit all your own videos and shorts and long form?
Yeah, I edit all of them. I feel like my film background, I guess, really taught me to kind of deal with all of that.
So what are some lessons you've learned from some of your top viewed videos? You did a 30-day body transformation at a playground.
Yes, during COVID.
Really good thumbnail. And 2 years ago, 4 million views. What lessons did you learn? The video is 8 minutes long. Why did it blow up, do you think?
Yeah, I think with that video, and speaking of that video, but also the other videos, like even my recent ones, I have one called How I Made a YouTube Channel Using Only AI, and some other ones too. Those videos, they were challenge videos, right? And I think with YouTube and just how the audience, they love challenge videos. They love seeing, from point A to point B. And that's something that carries a viewer all the way to the end. I think that kind of storytelling structure is really useful. Another thing would be, I guess, within those videos, I always try to add as much variety as possible. So in that workout video, for example, I work on a playground, but it's not just me working on the playground and showing tips. There's a part where I'm playing soccer. There's a part where, I face a bear at the playground. Like it's really all these crazy things. And I try to implement that, and that keeps the audience with new things to see all the time.
Did you actually face a bear?
Well, so where I live, there's actual bears.
Okay.
So I was, in that video, I was warned about a bear. Some person actually came up to me and was like, yo, there's a bear in the area. But then I just in the video, I'm just like, oh my God, there's a bear.
Got it.
And then, yeah.
That's amazing. And so when you also talk about a challenge like this, it took you 30 days of filming.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. 30 days, and then you also have the editing and everything.
Yeah.
Right?
So you actually were capturing systematically the transformation and footage each day. Were you editing as you went?
Yeah. So I think for that video, yes, I was, because at that time, I didn't know the exact kind of direction I was going with the video. Like I could focus on, my experience working on a playground for fun, but it could also be from like an educational standpoint. Like I don't know which one, right? So I'm always exploring different ideas, and through editing it's like that's when you kind of see what is working or not. So that video I was editing throughout it, and then at the end I was able to. You kind of, when you're editing, you kind of get to see the ending, and then you're like, okay, now I need to film certain clips to finish the story up, and that's how I did it. Yeah,
I got you. And so this kind of brings up this question that is a massive debate, and that is quantity versus quality on YouTube. Which one do you think it is for creators?
You're asking the person that posts like once every 2 months or something like that. I think for me, I always hear about that, especially like, growing up, and then you see like, I don't know, Gary Vee, for example, it's like, yo, you got to post every second and everything, right?
Like 89 pieces of content a day or whatever.
It's crazy. And, I've always tried my best to post as much as possible, but it's really something that you have to ask yourself, like, what are your strengths? Because of what I've realized over the years is that I'm someone, like, you could tell me to post 30 videos like a month or whatever, but like, I kind of have like a perfectionist mentality in me. And no matter what I do, I can't really fight it. So what can I do? It's either like, do you fight it or do you use it as a strength? So instead of like posting 30 videos a month, why don't I just make the best videos best video possible? And yes, I do have to optimize it to get as many views as possible to like make sure it does perform. But if I can do that, then it'll still end up doing, the numbers that I want or the growth that I want. Yeah.
It kind of sounds like a self-awareness thing too, because you're self-aware of your own strengths and of your style of content. Like maybe if your show is about doing real estate market updates every day with the rates changing, it's an entirely different thing than it is doing kind of these creative film meets YouTuber meets your personality type of videos. And so you're definitely quality though. If you had to pick one.
Quality. Yeah.
it's quality for you. What did you learn from this video got almost 2 million views, day in the life of a 23-year-old entrepreneur, realistic?
So I learned, so that video is about me, just like in a day in life. But I know that in the personal finance entrepreneurship field, there's a lot of, there's definitely a lot of cool people, but there's a lot of people that are just like, I don't know, scummy, like bad, whatever, right? And I try not to be one of those. I know I'm not one of those. So in that video, I want to portray like a realistic one that's not where I'm just like flashy like cars or whatever, clothes or whatever. If you see the beginning of the video, I have like a Lambo, but it's not my Lambo.
It's not your Lambo? Would you get a Lambo?
No, I wouldn't.
Okay.
I wouldn't. So it's funny. Like I ride an electric scooter.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like I try to live a humble lifestyle. So
yeah.
But that video, it showed me that people really appreciate authenticity, and people can tell. And so I think that's something that any creator can definitely take away from.
YouTube versus TikTok for new creators. What do you think?
So I guess I'll tell you a little bit of my TikTok, right? So with my TikTok, I have almost 1 million followers there, but the content I make on there it's not even related to my YouTube though.
Okay.
It's weird. It's so it actually started back in 2020. I was just entering TikTok. At that time, I was like, oh my God, I don't know what, like this new short form type of content, I'm kind of scared, but let's just try it out. And I made this video on Drift King. So I don't know if you watched Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift.
Yeah.
But I look like the villain.
Okay.
Drift King. So I made this meme, like funny comedy skit for TikTok, and it blew up. And I kind of just rode the wave for 2 years, and it got me to 1 million, almost 1 million.
Did you stop posting?
So yes, I did stop posting just because of the focus. Like I just want to make sure I want to focus more on YouTube. If for new creators, I definitely think if you are just starting out and you want to learn the basics of storytelling, of content creation, short form content is like the perfect one, because like the investment, right? And like the how much you need to know to get started is like so much smaller than a long video. So I would suggest that. However, for those who have the ambitions to create a bigger story or create bigger ideas, they definitely want to you don't want to keep yourself locked into that short form structure, because the long form one gives you so much more space and flexibility.
This video was brought to you by StreamYard. StreamYard is our go-to platform for streaming to YouTube and Facebook, with an incredibly easy to use interface for built-in branding, transitions, text lower thirds, and seamlessly bringing on guests. It really is one of the best options when it comes to live streaming. And what's so cool is they've implemented a brand new feature called local recording. Take control of your audio and video with local recordings by separating out your audio and video from your guests. This feature gives you the control over your content for later use, making it perfect for podcasts and video creators. Just go to streamwiththink.com to get started now.
Would you recommend a creator starting, if they're making relatively universal vertical videos, that they also just embrace YouTube Shorts and TikTok, because why not? And uploading the same content in both places?
Oh, like universal as in like...
I just mean universal, like if they know what their brand is, if they're talking about entrepreneurship or self-development and you make a decent vertical video, would you just upload it everywhere? So that you essentially... You could actually be leaning in on YouTube. Maybe YouTube's your final destination, but you could be posting these vertical videos elsewhere and still making an impact.
Yeah, 100%. I think you created something, you might as well use it to as much as possible.
Did you start a new TikTok for just like your first and last name with I see you only have because you go quality even in shorts.
Oh yeah, my YouTube shorts. Yeah,
your YouTube shorts. Are you gonna upload those other places?
Yeah, so sometimes I post it on Instagram.
Yeah.
Only the ones that like, if it did well on YouTube Shorts, I'll post it on Instagram. But I don't really make too many shorts. I'm trying to. Yeah, like going back to the question, like, yeah, if you can post it everywhere, yeah, post it everywhere. I think, why not?
What ingredients did it take to bring you to this point? You've been doing this for a lot of years. You're breaking through into success, and a lot of people can get discouraged in the journey. How did you continue to persevere, and what do you think the ingredients and what stories in your life or lessons in your life do you think gave you the ingredients necessary to persevere to make it to a full-time content creator?
Right. So I guess there's two aspects to that, right? So the first one is you need like obsession. Like, I think you need to do this for the right reasons. I think as for me, it's funny because I'm a entrepreneur, personal finance YouTuber, but I still label myself as artist first, and then entrepreneur, then business person, because I love filmmaking. I love video production and all of that. And so I always ask myself, like, if YouTube didn't pay me and if I didn't make money, what would I be doing? I'd still be doing it in my free time. So I think that carried me forward and kept pushing me to go towards it, even though for years and years and years, like money, I remember like getting $3 of AdSense every month. I was like, yes, but I was super happy. So you have that aspect. And I do think you really have to love it. Like, if you're doing it just for money, while like there's nothing wrong about that, like, it's gonna be hard to like stay in and be so dedicated, because there's gonna definitely, if you're starting out, there's definitely gonna be times where you're just not gonna get what you want. Now the second option though is like, you also have to be open to adapt and find like success where it is presenting you, right? So for me, like, I've went through so many different niches, like travel and like, a bunch of other stuff, right? And, but it was personal finance and entrepreneurship that I found success in. And from that, I really took advantage of that and just kept building my brand around that, like revamping my brand all around that. Now, a lot of other creators, sometimes they're a little bit like, you know what, I want to make comedy sketches, for example, and let's say they keep making it, but it's not working, and maybe they're just not like that. They're just not that good at it, but they're kind of like selfish in a sense where like, oh, you know what, like I can only make it through that. That's gonna be tough because you're not willing to adapt. I think you should be willing to adapt and find your strengths, find the niches that or the areas in your videos that are working, and kind of embrace that. Don't like block it.
Did you test out those different niches on your main channel?
Yeah, everything was on my main channel. And I remember all my friends were like, why is your channel so random? And it's only in the past few years now, it's like kind of normalized.
Gotcha. So you tested out different things on the main channel, were willing to pivot and adapt to your strengths and what you saw working. And then that's kind of now shaped your channel to what it is today. Your promise is honest entrepreneurship, personal finance, and self-improvement. Yeah.
And another thing is I just came up, like, I think a lot of people, sometimes they're always scared of pivoting. But if you're just starting out, and at that time when I was pivoting too, I didn't have too many subscribers. Like, no one's gonna remember you as a specific person. Just do whatever, right?
Totally.
Even now, like, the amount of subscribers, like, it's not like I'm like Brad Pitt or something, like some huge celebrity that you're like typecast into one thing. You just do whatever you want. And some will come, some will go, but it doesn't matter who will go, because your future, like the people that are willing to meet you in the future, those are the people you want.
You went to business school.
Yes, I studied marketing and real estate at UBC.
I'm sure you probably watch YouTube and maybe even follow some people who teach business.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
What do you think is a better way to learn business? To go to business school, or to watch YouTube and maybe find somebody that you could buy their course or something? And I don't mean like a sketchy course, but but somebody legit, something like kind of the online e-learning type of world.
I think, so there's definitely like pros and cons to both. I think, to answer your question, I think neither. Like,
okay.
I think you should, if you want to learn business, you have to do it.
Okay.
Like, you can watch the videos, you can go to school and get the inspiration from it. But if you actually want to learn, and everything I've learned is from doing it. In terms of like, either or though, definitely like with YouTube videos on personal finance and entrepreneurship, they're definitely the most updated ones, most like realistic ones, right? So I think if you're learning how to start a business right now, like definitely, I think the YouTube and online platforms definitely have the most up-to-date content. For university though, I while like it didn't help me in creating my channel or creating a business or anything like that, it really put me in a mindset of, hey, you know what? Like I can actually do this. And also a lot of social opportunities like networking and meeting friends. And you can't do that while sitting on your computer, right?
Yep. And so don't go to college, don't watch YouTube, just do it. If you're really gonna, but if you're gonna do it, you also should just do it. And there's great learning, but
yeah, I guess so. I don't know. It depends for everyone. I don't want to be one that says like don't go to university or anything like that. But I definitely think whether you're in university or not, whether you're watching or not, just do it.
Yeah.
Just do something.
Yeah. And the most learning happens from being in the trenches, making mistakes, failing, and not quitting.
Yes.
What do you think is actually the best way to earn a sustainable living as a content creator on YouTube or on social media? The way of actually earning money sustainably from your perspective with your experience right now, because a lot of people also, it can be unpredictable. AdSense can be up or down, but if you're great at generating content that gets views, maybe it's good enough and it gives you enough margin. There's other income streams. You could start a business outside. But if somebody was thinking they wanted to build a business, especially with your business acumen and your experience, what is the best way, in your opinion, to build a real business or sustainable income as a content creator?
Right. It's funny because I feel like inherently the profession of a content creator is there such a thing as sustainability to it? I don't know. Like, I don't feel like, I think as a content creator, as a YouTuber, there's always going to be ups and downs. Like, I don't think you're going to have like like predictable months.
Okay.
I think it's going to be, I honestly think that's my answer to that. However, you can make it more sustainable by creating different revenue streams, diversifying revenue. So yeah, starting a business on the side, or, like for me, most of my income from YouTube is through brand sponsorships, but AdSense is definitely something that, contributes as well. Speaking opportunities like at VidCon and things like that. So I think diversifying your income streams is the way to make it more sustainable. But I think inherently, yeah, our profession is kind of crazy.
So you're helping people with personal finance. What are dumb financial mistakes you think that entrepreneurs and content creators make?
Interesting. I think one, specifically for content creators, I think a lot of them, they overinvest in the beginning when they're creating content. They buy the coolest gear, the lighting and everything. But like nowadays, everyone, especially nowadays, when I was starting out, I was so broke, I had to borrow all my friends' cameras. I didn't have a camera until for years, right? But now we have our phones. iPhone quality is insane. Yeah. So I think, if you're like a brand new beginner, I think you just start off with that and then you learn from that. And then you start building up. And don't feel like you need to have all the content. Or it's gonna be very expensive.
What would you say to somebody that their entire retirement plan is NFTs?
I think you should, even though I'm also into NFTs, I think you should diversify. It's always good to diversify everything in life.
What percent would you go in on NFT and crypto right now versus maybe traditional investments?
I think it depends, of course, with everyone. Personally, I think, I would say like 80% on the proper normal things.
Yeah.
For the average person, honestly, with crypto and NFTs and all the risky stuff, 5% or less, honestly. But like if you are gambly or more high, less risk adverse, 20%. But it really depends. Like I can't give a specific.
Well, that's what I'm asking. Just this is not financial advice, but your personal.
My personal is
so you're more bullish on NFTs and crypto.
I think.
Is that because you also believe in it and you believe in the future?
I think I think with crypto, I do believe it's definitely whether it's like crypto as in like Bitcoin or Ethereum itself, or with just like the technology around it. Mm-hmm. I definitely think it's gonna be implemented somehow in the future. We're already seeing it with governments and with like real banks like adopting it. In terms of NFTs, so I actually did a video on I created my own project and community with that too.
What's it called?
Crazillas.
Okay.
With NFTs, it's more interesting because it's a little bit newer than the typical like Bitcoin, cryptocurrency. So I think with the use cases around that, we're still discovering things. So there's gonna be a lot more ups and downs with that. I think the technology is going to definitely be implemented in the future. How it's implemented right now, I don't know. It might change.
Is there anybody you like to learn business from on YouTube? Anybody that you follow that you think has good advice?
I think, well, you can't go without like the OG Graham Stephan.
Yeah.
I think he's great. I think for me, I just watch a lot of people. Like there's no one specific, but I feel like it is important to kind of open. Oh, there's this guy. I think his name's like Clear something tax.
Clear Value Tax.
Clear Value Tax. It's good, yo.
It's a good channel. It's so, I love how like concise, clear,
yes,
almost like low emotion, zero hype.
Yes.
Matter of fact, good information.
Exactly. Yeah.
Keeps you going on everything. So what is your criteria for your filter for who you trust when it comes to the world of, because you mentioned a little bit earlier, there's a lot of maybe more shady people or people that are kind of scammy when it comes to, there's even memes about online entrepreneurs, et cetera. How do you filter who to trust for yourself personally? For
sure. And that's really important. You have to, you got to do some research, right? Because let's say the two people that we mentioned, Graham Stephan, Clear Value Tax, like before they're YouTubers, what were they doing? Graham Stephan was doing real estate. Clear Value Tax like owns maybe an accounting firm or something like that. And so coming from those backgrounds, right, they have real world experience. They're not just like, hey, here's some random business ideas or ways to get rich. Because honestly, a lot of finance YouTubers, like they don't have any of that. They've never started a business ever in the past. And now they're giving a business advice. That's crazy to me.
Yeah.
For me, myself, right, like I have storage hotel. And I think that's something too I always think about. It's like this personal dilemma of mine where it's like, I want to make sure I'm like as real as possible. So I also want to keep exploring business ideas outside of YouTube because I know while YouTube itself is a business, there are aspects of YouTube that you can't find in other businesses. And then you're not going to be like relatable to your audience when promoting another business idea or something like that. So I'm always trying to explore new opportunities, or at least try them out. So then I get to get those learnings and then help my audience with those findings. Yeah.
As we land the plane, someone comes to you that you love dearly, like a friend of yours who comes to you and says, I am serious about starting YouTube, but I'm a little bit nervous because I feel like it's too late. I feel like everyone else is already doing what I want to do. And it just seems like there's a lot to learn. What advice do you have for me? Because I want to start a YouTube channel right now. And I am willing to put in the work. But what tips or advice would you give me for what it's going to take starting a channel from scratch right now?
Yeah, I would ask them, like, what are your intentions of starting it? Do you want to, create a career out of it? Or do you want...
I want to create a career out of it. I want to make a difference. In fact, our community, Think Media Podcast, are very purpose-driven people. So a lot of times they're impact first, but they know they need money for the mission. So they're looking for sustainability. But they want to make a difference and they just want it to work. And I guess I can maybe make up a niche from our community, but they're maybe craftsmen, it could be DIY, or they're entrepreneurs that are trying to move on line and start maybe building a personal brand around their expertise. They've already succeeded in sales, succeeded in real estate, built a company or a small business. So it could be a couple of things, but as you know, you have a background in film. They're like, man, I got to learn video editing, content creation. There's a lot to learn. So anyways, maybe just a couple tips. They're like, what's it going to take? What should my mindset be going into this? I'm starting from scratch, or I'm in the early stage of starting a brand new YouTube channel right now. What would you say? Yeah,
I would say, the first thing I would say is don't have too high expectations, because expectations is the killer. It doesn't matter. Like if you have this is with everything, not even content creation. Like if you have high expectations, of course you're going to be disappointed in the beginning if you don't reach it. So go in with that. But at that same time, like with less expectations, that allows you to have creativity and flexibility and just try different things, right? If something's not working, try something else. And then don't feel like there's a lot of advice online, right? Even my advice, like you don't need to listen to me, right? There's a lot of advice. But don't feel like there's only one right way to do things.
Yeah.
Because for me, especially me, the quantity versus quality aspect, I've always felt like, oh my God, am I posting enough? And then like just like this, even the type of topics I make and everything like that, I always felt like I wasn't doing it the right way. But I realized later on there is no right way. So for those new creators, just go out there, create something new. Don't have high expectations, but allow yourself to really just, embrace the journey and see where it takes, because where it ends up. Because I feel like, eventually if you keep pushing on, you're going to get somewhere.
Powerful. Jensen, if people want to follow you, connect with you, where are you at?
I am at Jensen Tung on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, everywhere. I have a pretty rare name, so I got all the handles. That's pretty much it.
Well, appreciate you so much, and just want to thank you for coming on the show here at VidCon and Think Media Podcast. Subscribe and share. Talk soon. Peace.